On our website, you can get PDF learning materials for free. Please visit englist.me.
Suspicion.
The act of doubting something, especially something wrong.
Examples:
Suspicion of fraud. Cast suspicion. There was an almost certain suspicion that the company was involved in illegal activities.
Deck.
A flat surface that is usually made of wood or other material and is attached to a building, vehicle, or other structure.
Examples:
Deck chairs. Hands on deck. She sat on the ship's deck, watching the sunset over the ocean.
Stack.
A pile of something arranged or laid one on top of another, a large tall chimney through which combustion gases and smoke can be evacuated.
Examples:
High stack. A large stack of paper. The earthquake caused a stack of lumber to crumble noisily.
Function.
The purpose or use of an object, system, or process, a particular activity or operation that is designed to serve a specific purpose, a mathematical concept that describes a relationship between two sets of values, called the input and output sets. Verb, to operate or work in a specific way, or to perform a particular task or purpose.
Examples:
Function properly. Immune function. The brain is an incredibly complex organ that controls the body's function.
Democracy.
A form of government in which the people have the authority to deliberate and decide legislation, or to choose governing officials to do so.
Examples:
Democracy advocate. Principles of democracy. Democracy often entails inclusive capitalism as well.
Poll.
An inquiry into public opinion conducted by interviewing a random sample of people, the process of voting at an election.
Examples:
A pre-election poll. Public opinion polls. Several polls show a decline in the president's approval rating.
Ballot.
A piece of paper used to cast a vote in an election.
Examples:
The final ballot. Ballot booth. The ballot for the upcoming election will be sent out to registered voters next week.
Constitutional.
Of or relating to a constitution, equals the set of fundamental principles, especially of a country or government, existing as an essential characteristic.
Examples:
Constitutional ban. A constitutional disease. The right to free speech is a constitutional right in the United States.
Amendment.
The act or the process of changing something, especially a document or proposed new law.
Examples:
Constitutional amendment. Make an amendment to a contract. The opposition politicians jointly proposed an amendment to that law.
District.
A part of a country or town, especially one with particular features.
Examples:
School districts, urban districts. Since 2001, the district has provided training programs for automotive technicians.
Bias.
A strong feeling in favor of or against one group of people, an idea, or thing, often not based on fair judgment.
Examples:
Bias against a big company. Have a bias towards socialism. She researched gender bias in politics.
Legislature.
A body of elected or appointed representatives who make laws for a country or state.
Examples:
Colonial legislature. A prefectural legislature. The people elect legislature members to represent their interests and make decisions on their behalf.
Requirement.
Something that is needed or wanted.
Examples:
Meet requirement. School requirement. What is the entry requirement for this course?
Subsequent.
Happening or occurring later or after something else.
Examples:
Over subsequent months. Reduce subsequent mortality. In the subsequent meeting, the team discussed ways to improve productivity.
Racial.
Of or related to the race, equals classification of humans into groups based on physical traits or social relations.
Examples:
Racial prejudice. Racial and ethnic backgrounds. A minor racial conflict later led to a civil war.
Nation.
A large organized community of people living in a particular country or region and having a particular culture.
Examples:
Nation-state. A seafaring nation. The nation of Japan is known for its unique culture and advanced technology.
Gerrymander.
To manipulate the boundaries of an electoral district or voting constituency to gain political advantage for a particular party or group.
Examples:
Gerrymander the voting boundaries. Gerrymander the upcoming election. Politicians often gerrymander electoral districts in their favor.
Specific.
Clearly defined or particular to a certain thing or situation, distinct, explicit, and precise.
Examples:
Specific instructions. Industry-specific regulations. The scientist conducted a study that provided specific details about the species' behavior.
Demographic.
A statistic characterizing that describes people or groups of people based on their age, sex, income, etc.
Examples:
Demographic analyses. Demographic policy. Several demographic indicators correlate with care admission.
Purple.
Of a color intermediate between red and blue.
Examples:
Deep purple. Purple sweet potatoes. The plant has a stunning purple blossom.
Split.
To divide, or to make something divide into two or more parts, especially along a particular line.
Examples:
Split a bill. Split a reward equally. Companies often split their shares to lower the stock price and encourage investors to buy.
Preserve.
To keep or maintain a particular quality, feature, etc., especially to prevent it from decaying, being damaged, or being destroyed.
Examples:
Preserve my strength. Preserve a country's heritage. They worked hard to preserve the nature of their native lands.
Ratio.
The relative size or amount of one thing to another, typically expressed in the form of a fraction or decimal.
Examples:
Debt-to-income ratio. Ratio of boys to girls. The ratio of water to sugar in the recipe is 1:2.
Outcome.
The result or effect of an action, event, etc.
Examples:
Improved student outcomes. A desirable outcome. They awaited news of the outcome of the election.
Flip.
To turn over into a different position quickly, to throw or toss with a light motion.
Examples:
Flip over the pork chop. Flip a coin. He flipped when he heard that he had been accepted into the university.
Crack.
To break or cause to break without dividing into separate parts. Noun, a line on the surface of something along which it is separated without breaking.
Examples:
Crack an eggshell. A crack in a board. He that would eat the kernel must crack the nut.
Strategy.
A detailed plan of action designed to achieve a long-term or overall goal.
Examples:
Military strategy. Develop a strategy. Our plan includes a comprehensive marketing strategy. Diminish. To reduce or be reduced in size, extent, or importance, to make something smaller, weaker, etc.
Examples:
Diminish a reputation. Diminish swelling. As people get old, their energies may diminish. Influence. The ability to affect someone's or something's character, growth, or behavior, or the effect itself. Examples: Influence a child's future. Influence the daily life. The former emperor had a particular influence even after he abdicated.
Governor.
The person who holds the highest executive office in a state or province.
Examples:
Governor General. A prefectural governor. The state governor visited the affected areas and promised to aid the victims.
Cartoon.
A simple drawing depicting a humorous or critical situation, often accompanied by a caption.
Examples:
Cartoon character. Cartoon industry. He spent his afternoon watching cartoon movies on TV.
Monstrous.
Extremely large or evil, or having a frightening appearance.
Examples:
A monstrous iceberg. Monstrous behavior. The giant wave was monstrous and destroyed the small boat.
Dragon.
A mythical monster, typically depicted as a giant reptile with wings, claws, and a fiery breath, often portrayed as being fierce and dangerous.
Examples:
Dragon fruit. Dragon wing. In Chinese mythology, dragons are considered powerful and benevolent creatures.
Salamander.
Any of various, typically terrestrial amphibians that resemble lizards and that return to water only to breed.
Examples:
Terrestrial salamander. Semi-aquatic salamander. We plan to raise a giant salamander as a pet.
Voter.
A person who votes or has a legal right to vote in a political election.
Examples:
An eligible voter. Voter apathy. The election administration nullified the election results because of voter fraud.
Politician.
A person who is a member of a government or lawmaking organization, especially as an elected member of parliament, etc.
Examples:
A politician in the ruling party. A corrupt politician. The politician lost his position in the end due to the scandal.
Process.
A series of actions or operations performed to achieve a particular outcome or goal. A systematic procedure or approach used to accomplish a specific task or objective. A method of treating milk to make it suitable for consumption or use in other dairy products.
Examples:
Process improvement. Decision-making process. The process for applying for a visa can be lengthy and complicated.
Congressional.
Of or relating to Congress, especially to the Congress of the United States.
Examples:
Congressional approval. Suspend a congressional meeting. There was a congressional probe into the scandal.
Incumbent.
A person who currently holds a particular position or job, especially in politics or public office, a duty or obligation that is required as part of a particular role or job.
Examples:
Incumbent party, incumbent duties. The incumbent president is seeking re-election for another term in office.
Debate:
A formal discussion or argument of opposing viewpoints, often to persuade others to adopt a specific position, a public discussion, often on an issue of current interest, in which participants offer opinions and differing perspectives.
Examples:
Debate topic, debate competition. The debate over climate change continues to be a hot topic in politics.
Elect:
To choose someone for a specific position by voting for them, to decide or choose to do something.
Examples:
Elect the school board. Elect death. Every 5 years, the provincial governors are elected.
Opposed:
Being completely different from something or disagreeing strongly with something.
Examples:
Two opposed characters. Absolutely opposed to abortion. I'm strongly opposed to that plan.
Representative:
Someone who speaks or acts officially on behalf of another person or group of people.
Examples:
An official representative. Sales representative. The media representatives had special passes.
Congress:
A formal meeting of the representatives of different countries, constituent states, organizations, trade unions, political parties, or other groups.
Examples:
An international congress. Peace Congress. Congress must consider this proposal in an unusual situation.
Extreme:
Very great in amount or degree.
Examples:
Extreme sports. Extreme weather events. Solar gravity creates extreme pressures and temperatures.
Challenger:
A person or thing that challenges or competes with someone or something else, a contestant in a competition or challenge.
Examples:
Challenger brand. Political challenger. The challenger in the boxing match put up a good fight.
Extremist:
A person who holds extreme political or religious views and who is willing to use violent or illegal methods to promote those views.
Examples:
Extremist political views. Radical extremist. The extremist group planned a series of violent attacks to push its agenda.
Upstart:
A person who has recently risen to a position of power, especially one who behaves arrogantly, an ambitious or presumptuous newcomer.
Examples:
Upstart company. Ambitious upstart. The upstart politician made a splash in the election, challenging the established incumbents.
Aisle.
A passage between rows of seats in a theater, airplane, or other public building, typically one of two or more running parallel with the main body of the structure.
Examples:
Aisle seat. The center aisle of a church. She walked down the aisle to the front of the church.
Compromise.
To settle a problem or disagreement by mutual concession.
Examples:
Compromise the matter. Cannot compromise anymore. They never compromised on development, despite the lack of funds.
Legislative.
Having to do with the process of making laws, relating to or serving as a branch of government that makes laws, such as a legislative assembly or legislature.
Examples:
Legislative process. Legislative power. The legislative branch of government creates and passes laws.
Grind.
To reduce something to small particles or powder by crushing or rubbing it, to work hard over a long period of time.
Examples:
Grind away at my work. Grind your teeth. She had to grind the coffee beans before making a fresh cup.
Halt.
To bring or come to a stop, to force to stop moving or operating.
Examples:
Halt production. Halt progress. The train came to a halt at the station.
Cynical.
Believing that people are motivated by self-interest, distrustful of human sincerity or integrity.
Examples:
Cynical remarks. Cynical worldview. He was very cynical and didn't believe anything anyone said unless he saw evidence for himself.
Impartial.
Not favoring one side or party over another, fair and unbiased in judgment or opinion.
Examples:
Impartial treatment. Impartial observer. The judge made an impartial decision after reviewing all the evidence.
Define.
To state or explain precisely the nature, scope, or meaning of something.
Examples:
Define a word. Define my position. To advance this discussion, we must define success rigorously.
Mathematics.
The science dealing with the logic of quantities, shapes, spaces, and arrangement.
Examples:
A good grounding in mathematics. Mathematics competition. He has a flair for mathematics.
Agenda.
A list or outline of things to be done, discussed, or considered.
Examples:
Agenda setting. Ambitious agenda. The agenda for the meeting includes discussions on the budget and new project proposals.
Interfere.
To get involved in and prevent a process or activity from continuing.
Examples:
interfere in another country's affairs. Interfere with DNA synthesis. Your talking interferes with my work.
Contiguous.
Sharing a common boundary, touching, adjacent.
Examples:
contiguous territory. Contiguous numbers. The contiguous states are connected by land.
Compact.
Closely and firmly united or packed together, using very little space, smaller than is usual.
Examples:
a compact camera. Extremely compact device. Two countries acted together as if by compact.
Tight.
Fixed, fastened, or kept together firmly or closely.
Examples:
a tight game. Student on a tight budget. The national election was held amid tight security. Represent. To speak, act, or be present on behalf of another person or group, to form or constitute.
Examples:
represent by a diagram. The characters that represent numbers. We elected him to represent us at the international conference. Locate. To specify or determine the exact position of someone or something. Examples: locate a missing pet. Locate a tumor. The robot can accurately locate construction material. Toy. A thing, typically a small model or replica of something that is played with, especially by children. Examples: toy store. Toy box. He gave his daughter a new toy for her birthday. Engineer. A person whose job is designing, building, or maintaining something such as machines, structures, or software. Examples: a civil engineer. Engineer shortage. The engineer will repair my telephone tomorrow morning. Census. An official count or survey of a population, typically recording various details such as age, sex, occupation, and education levels. Examples: census data. Population census. The government conducted a census of the population to gather data on demographics. Constant. Happening repeatedly or all the time. Examples: a constant wind. A constant temperature. Constant dropping wears away the stone. Primary. First or highest in rank, order, or importance, most fundamental or essential, pertaining to the initial or introductory stage of something, such as a school year or election cycle.
Examples:
Primary school, primary education. The primary cause of the accident was due to the icy road conditions.
Spinning.
The act of rotating rapidly around an axis. In the context of textiles, the process of twisting fibers together to form thread or yarn.
Examples:
Spinning machine, spinning wheel. She took a spinning class at the gym to improve her cardiovascular fitness.
Hasty.
Done or acting with excessive speed or urgency and without sufficient thought or consideration.
Examples:
A hasty temper, hasty commitment. The hasty conclusion drawn by the researchers resulted in flawed study findings.
Candidate.
A person who is seeking or being considered for some kind of position, title, honor, or award, a job applicant.
Examples:
Candidate selection, PhD candidate. The candidate's platform focused on healthcare reform and reducing income inequality.
Disarray.
The state of disorganization or untidiness in a situation or place, a mental state characterized by a lack of clear and orderly thought and behavior.
Examples:
Fall into disarray. With her clothes in disarray. The country's economic policies have led to political disarray.
Pinch.
To grip something such as someone's skin and press it tightly between the finger and thumb. Noun, a painful or straitened circumstance.
Examples:
Pinch off a bud. Pinch my nose. He pinched money from the cash box without telling the company's employees.
Grab.
To take hold of something or someone suddenly with a hand, especially in a violent way.
Examples:
Grab an audience. Grab an opportunity. Shall we grab a bite to eat?
Visual.
Relating to seeing or sight.
Examples:
Visual navigation. Field of visual arts. The building makes a remarkable visual impact.
Telltale.
Revealing or betraying information or evidence, serving as a sign or indicator of something.
Examples:
Telltale evidence. Telltale heart. The telltale signs of a dishonest employee were missing files and constant delay.
Distort.
To change something's shape, appearance, or sound so that it appears weird or unclear.
Examples:
Distort the facts. Distort the economy. Economists contend that taxes distort consumer behavior in general.
Opposition.
The act of disagreeing or resisting, the state of strong disagreement.
Examples:
Opposition campaign. Meet with opposition. The opposition party strongly disagreed with the government's proposed legislation.
Sprawl.
To sit, lie, or fall with one's arms and legs spread out.
Examples:
Sprawl out luxuriously on the sofa. Sprawl for acres. The lush vegetation sprawls across the wonderfully landscaped gardens.
Distance.
The amount of space between 2 points, measured in units such as miles, meters, or kilometers, the extent, scope, or range between two things, such as distance or emotional distance.
Examples:
Driving distance. Social distance. The marathon runner covered a long distance in a short amount of time.
Technique.
A particular way or art of doing something that needs skill.
Examples:
A technique in martial arts. The technique applied to construction. Jockey's superior technique brought him victory.
Resistance.
The act of defending oneself from an aggressor or refusing to accept something.
Examples:
Resistance movement. Resistance to insulin. The bill to increase the consumption tax had passed despite much resistance from the public.
Republican.
A person who supports or advocates for a particular form of government, typically one that has an elected head of state rather than a monarch, a member or supporter of the Republican Party in the United States.
Examples:
Republican ideology. Republican Party. Many Republican lawmakers are advocating for stricter immigration policies.
Overturn.
To turn something upside down, to upset.
Examples:
Overturn a decision. Overturn a table. The court overturned the original verdict.
Contort.
To cause something to twist and press out of its natural or normal shape.
Examples:
Contort my limbs. Contort the face. He contorted his smile with anger coming from his gut.
Mess.
A state of confusion, dirtiness, or untidiness. Verb, to fail to do something or to make something dirty or untidy.
Examples:
Have a whole mess. Get into a mess. He made a frightful mess in his room.
Tentacle.
A flexible, mobile, and long arm-like organ used for feeling and holding things, catching food, or moving.
Examples:
A squid's tentacle. Posterior tentacle. The police caught the fugitive criminal in the tentacles of an expanded investigation.
Horror.
Intense fear or disgust, especially at something shocking or terrifying.
Examples:
Horror movie. Horror-struck look. The stories of war crimes filled her with horror.
Submit.
To give or offer a document, proposal, etc., to a decision maker for examination or consideration.
Examples:
Agree to submit the bill. Submit an application. Please submit the assignment to me.
Viable.
Capable of being done as intended, able to succeed.
Examples:
Achieve a viable relationship. Develop a viable therapy. Male gorillas with good drumming skills are more viable.
Obvious.
Easy to see, discover, or understand.
Examples:
Obvious reasons. His conclusion was obvious. There are obvious differences between the two wine-producing regions.
Run around.
A series of evasive or misleading answers or actions often used to evade responsibility or avoid giving a direct answer. A frustrating and time-consuming experience of being led from one place or person to another in search of information or assistance.
Examples:
Runaround excuses. Get a bureaucratic runaround. My boss has been giving me the runaround about my promotion for months.
Drawback.
A disadvantage or inconvenience that makes something less attractive.
Examples:
The drawback of his method. One of the main drawbacks. He pointed out all the drawbacks to our plan.
Divide.
To separate or cause to separate into parts or groups.
Examples:
Divide the cake into 2 pieces. Divide money equally. Can you divide 123,321 by 11?
Government.
The group of people with authority to control a country or state.
Examples:
Government bureaucracy. Government funding. The federal government is planning to increase taxes for the next fiscal year.
Bureaucracy.
A system of government in which most of the important decisions are made by state officials rather than by elected representatives.
Examples:
Government bureaucracy. Arbitrary bureaucracy. The bumbling bureaucracy made it difficult to get the permits we needed.
Crank.
A mechanical device that converts rotary motion into linear motion or vice versa, an eccentric or unpredictable person.
Examples:
Crank handle. Crank collar. The fishing reel had a crank that made it easy to reel in the catch.
Reform.
The act of improving or correcting something wrong or bad. Verb, to make a change in something to correct a flaw or improve it.
Examples:
Economic reform. Reform movement. The government is proposing a reform to the healthcare system to make it more accessible and affordable for all citizens.
Tinker.
To make repairs, adjustments, or improvements to something, especially in an experimental or makeshift way.
Examples:
Tinker with the bill. Tinker with the settings. He spent the afternoon tinkering with his car engine.
Software.
A set of computer programs and associated documentation and data for doing particular computational jobs.
Examples:
Software architect. Copyrighted software. The company specializes in both hardware and software.
Verify.
To check that something exists or is true, or to prove that something is correct.
Examples:
Verify a document. Verify identity. We always verify all critical information independently.
Politically.
In a way that relates to the government or public affairs of a nation.
Examples:
Politically advantageous. Become politically savvy. This newspaper is supposed to be politically neutral.
Mechanism.
A part of a machine, or a set of parts that performs a task, a natural or established process that occurs during a specific situation or reaction.
Examples:
The mechanism for DNA replication. Defense mechanism. He discovered unique mechanisms for photochemical reactions.
Achievable.
Possible to accomplish or attain.
Examples:
Achievable task. Achievable plan. Setting a realistic and achievable goal is the key to success.
Core.
The most essential or fundamental part of something.
Examples:
The core of an apple. Core business activity. These gas nebulas are merely newborn galactic cores.